This is my E34 M5.
Hang on a minute, where's this come from? 8 months ago I uploaded a video of us buying 4 classic BMWs, 3 E34s and 1 E36. Now, upon uploading that video, there was one standout piece that I used to make sure that video did well, and that was an abandoned E34 M5. And by putting the E34 M5 into the thumbnail, it got a lot of people to click, and that actually brought a lot of new subscribers to the channel. And at the time of recording, the M5 wasn't available. All we had to do was move it out of the way to get to the E34 in the bush behind. That being said, we did check it out a little bit, but we obviously naturally didn't spend too much time looking at it because, well, we wasn't really buying it and we had a lot to do that day. But naturally, upon uploading that video, everyone thought it was a bunch of Muppets because we literally just left the M5 there and bought all of the smaller engine, less desirable cars. It wasn't available, and at the time, we probably couldn't have afforded the M5 on top of the other BMWs we was also buying.
And that brings us to today, where I'm stood next to that exact car. I never thought I'd own this car. It wasn't available. Everyone told me to buy it and I left it behind. But deep down, this was still in the back of the mind. And when it became available, I couldn't pass up that opportunity.
Let's start with something epic, a BMW M5. Oh yes, on sale today, 2,975 quid. So put down the carling and listen to this.
When I look at these cars today, I honestly think, it's slightly unobtainium. If you're buying an M5 today, they're probably upwards of 20 grand, and then they're going to be really, really, really nice cars. And it's not really worth you buying it because as soon as you buy it, you're going to be scared to drive it because it's too nice and it will hurt the value of it. Unfortunately, when I was a little boy, I didn't actually manage to pick up one of these for £3,000 because I was at school and stuff. How silly of me.
But what I did have as a little boy was access to the internet, and that proved to me that the E34 M5 is probably one of the most iconic vehicles that money can buy. And when I think about the M5, there's 2 things that spring to mind. It's this car chase from the movie Ronin. This E34 M5 was being chased around the streets of Paris by a Peugeot 406, driven by a woman, absolutely iconic. And then, of course, number 2, it goes without saying, everyone that knows about the M5 knows about this video. It's Georgie driving around the streets of Georgia in quite simply a very aggressive manner. I think as a car enthusiast, if you've not seen this video before, you've been living under a rock. This guy uploaded videos like this all the time, and if you saw someone uploading videos like this today, I don't think you'd get the same response, but because it was like 15 years ago, for some reason it seems like it's absolutely fine and heroic. So heroic that even people will put his number plate on their own M5, 00M-500. I've seen it many, many times. It's cool, it's a piece of internet history, and quite simply influenced a lot of people to sort of like want their own M5s, or if you was like me, and at the time, you would have an E34 M5 in probably all of your Xbox and PlayStation games.
Welcome back, Josh.
So yeah, I wouldn't say that this is an ultimate dream car. We already know what the ultimate dream car is. But what I will say is it's a key player, and to get this one for the price that I did, no brainer. So yeah, I picked it up on Saturday. I didn't film anything. It was absolutely awful weather, raining, windy, nothing interesting to look at. It was at the grounds where all the other E34s were. You'll see in these clips that I did film that, you know, there's nothing there anymore. It's literally a mudslide. They're building houses on it. And yeah, I didn't really look at it because my style of buying cars is it cheap enough for me to get my money back in parts? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, I'll deal with the repercussions later. So that's exactly what I did. So today, in the wet, in the lack of wind, and in the daylight, I'm gonna actually see what this car is all about, because to be honest, for me, it's like a fresh car. Well, let's crack into it and see if I wasted my money. So yes, I will address the elephant in the room. This E34 has a blue front bumper on it. Now, that's not really too much of a problem because it is a genuine E34 M5 bumper and those fetch a pretty penny. So I'm glad we've got it, but why is it the wrong color to the car? This car is a pre-facelift E34 M5. That means it's a 1990, and something that would say that this car had potentially been in a crash would be the fact that, number one, it has a blue front bumper, and number two, it has a facelift nose cone. Now that is not just a nose cone, that is the bonnet, that is the wings, that is the headlight surround. And this car being the 3.6 version, it has 315 brake horsepower. So potentially it's probably been driven in some sort of anger in its time. And as I am the 18th owner, I would probably say that one of those people probably run out of talent, and this is exactly why the car looks like it is today. And there might be some minor bending around here because, yeah, the bonnet also doesn't line up, but that's okay, that's okay. Another way to tell that the car is pre-facelift is the mirror bases. They are full and big and bulky. The facelift cars have uglier mirrors, we'll say, but yeah, this is the look. So yeah, if you have a Diamond Schwartz black pre-facelift front end with amber corner lights, let me know, I will buy that. So let's look at the interior, and some of you will notice that these centers are not original and they have been retrimmed. Now I would say that these are not the look, and it looks like somebody has done this with their Nan sew machine and they're probably really proud of it. But right now I'm looking at it and going, why did you do that? But obviously I already knew that those seats had been retrimmed. I had seen them, I wasn't a fan. So I thought I'd just look to see if I can get some more seats. They're expensive if you can find them. So I went into the back of the car and I was just having a look to see how bad this interior was in the back. And again, it is looking like they did it on their Nan sewing machine at home, but they also did a good job on their Nan sewing machine. It's not bad, but it's not terrible. But in 2024, you don't want this. You really don't want this. This car was probably modified in the early 2000s, and that was cool at the time. Anyway, I see this, and this was like this, right? The battery is underneath there, and I look, and look what I found. The original M sort of rain pattern underneath the suede. And as you can see, it's a bad job. And that got me excited because obviously they've left the original material under the seats. And then it hit me, have they ruined it? Why have they covered it over? Is it just a modification or were they ripped? So now I'm in two minds, like, is it worth me trying to unpick this stitching and try and reveal the original M colors? Is it going to be ruined underneath? I don't know. I found some pictures online. It took me quite a while to find these pictures online, searching all the sort of different variations of E34 interiors. And this specification with the grey leather and the cloth M-Rain centers took me quite a while to find, and they seem to be quite rare. And I'm wondering if I can de-stitch all of this interior and reveal like a mint M-Rain underneath, because it wouldn't be sun bleached. It's obviously been done a long time ago. But I'm just worried that if I undo it all, it's all ruined, and then I have a worse set of seats than I started with. But yeah, that's just one thing which I think we might be able to get away with. But the door cards, I'm going to probably say it's not going to happen, because if you look underneath here, there's a lot of glue. This is quite normal for E34s. The material sort of falls off, and you can see the original stuff is underneath, but it is obviously covered in glue. This is proper glue. so the material might be ruined on there. But I have seen you can buy the material, so even I might be able to retrim those in the original material. Obviously, naturally, I went to look a little bit further, and I thought, well, if that's glued, is the seats glued as well? Are they just stitched? And I went down here, put my arm down there, and you can see that, you know, I can get my whole hand underneath. There's no glue. The original stitching is underneath there. Can I unstitch this? And is it going to look awful after it's done, or is it going to be good from 5 foot? If it looks good from 5 foot, I'm down with it. Right now, it looks tacky. I don't like it. I hate it. If it's got a little hole after it's finished, and you can only see them until you're this far away from it, I don't care. But for right now, the seats look awful. I want to change that. We will probably end up doing that in another video, but yeah, that was like a sort of a little surprise. Not the only surprise in the interior. I found something which I didn't know existed until I owned the car. Look at this. This car is a 4-seater. This is not a 5-seater version. The optional extra to have the 4-seater is very cool because you get this little drawer and you pull it out and it's stuck because it's retrimmed and put back together, and now I can't actually open it. There you go. That comes out. There's a little drawer, so that's like the 4-seater option. What I didn't know is if you pull this down, right? I mean, it's not all clipped in at the minute for some reason. Take this out. This right here is a bag to put your skis. This car has a ski bag. You literally open the boot, you put your golf clubs or your skis through here. How cool is that? That is so 90s. And it has a spare bag here. It has another ski bag just in case. It looks like this was the old one because this one looks absolutely immaculate. And this one does look a little bit rough. But I don't actually ski or golf, so it's no use to me. But I can tell people I've got a ski bag in my car. So yeah, that's good. That wasn't the only surprise in this car. If we look here, these are the original pre-facelift grills with the original M5 badge. If you look here, the grill is obviously a lot longer. The kidney grills are a lot smaller on the pre-facelift, and the headlight rings are the same. But yeah, that is quite gutting. I need to sort that out as soon as possible. I'm told that the headlights themselves are the same. It's just the grills that are different. So when that's recessed in, you get a different bonnet, different nose cone, different wings, and these just still plop into place over the original lights. So hopefully we can get the pre-facelift stuff and stick this back on, because of course we have the M5 badge. We gotta let them know. We gotta let them know. And as well as all of these things, one of the coolest things we have is the factory blind on the rear, which is immaculate because it looks like it's never even been used. You can see it from the outside. Very, very cool. And when you're looking from this side, you'll also notice this is a Cooper Park Lane BMW from factory. So again, very cool. And it's covered in moss, so you can tell it's one of my cars. There it be, the S38 B36. It has 315 brake horsepower, ITBs from the factory, and I already know that this actually runs and sounds really healthy because when we first put these cars on YouTube, this is the only one that started, and we put a battery on it. It had been sat for about 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer, we don't know. Put a battery on it and it started up with the old fuel. So knowing that it ran was the main reason that I said yes to buying this car, because the value of these engines are quite literally pretty much what I pay for the car. And I'll tell you how much I pay for it at the end of the video. But the S38 B36 has probably one of the best looking rocker covers that BMW has ever made. The later 3.8 engines, which had about 340 horsepower or something, they had a coil on plug on here, and those valve covers are ugly compared to this one, and that is quite literally one of the best looking engines ever made, in my opinion. Also to add, it's basically a predecessor to the BMW M1 engine, based on the same thing, and I think that is quite cool that they put that engine in a 5 Series saloon. Another thing to add is that this car has aircon, and I hope I can get it regassed and it's not got some special gas for it, because this would make one awesome summer road trip across the Autobahn when I can have the windows up at 140 mile an hour with the aircon on. Pretty much pure comfort. So yeah, it doesn't run right now. Obviously it did run, we've all seen it. I'll put the clip in here. Obviously now needs a new fuel pump, so we will do that in another video. But yeah, super excited to give this a birthday, get it running really, really nice, and obviously do some celebration donuts and burnouts around the yard, because that is exactly what this engine was made for. Another bonus to this car is the M parallel wheels. So obviously we have the smaller, potentially 8.5s on the front and 9.5s on the rear. I don't actually know, they're just a staggered set. They're E34 sort of specs. Apparently, according to Lewis, these wheels belong on his Touring, and he seems to think that these were spec'd from factory with these in parallels. And if you remember back to those first videos, his car had these wheels on, so these wheels were already on that Touring, and apparently they were always on there from factory. And during all of the deal, these came off that car and went on the M5. So now I own them. So I've been trying to sell Lewis these for about £1,000, but he says no and he doesn't want to, understandably. But yeah, these are very good. I think 18s are much better than on the E34. I don't really like throwing stars. I am not a throwing stars fan. 17s on the E34 just look way too small and it just doesn't look right. 18s look really good. This style and this height, this is really, really cool. Maybe a bit lower on the front. That's a bit my style, but yeah, that's very cool. So that was a very good thing to have in the deal. And then we move on to the back, where we need to dig into a little bit more. But we have this little spoiler here. I know nothing about it, but I actually really, really like it. I don't know anything about this spoiler. I've not really seen another one with it, but I think it looks really good. And if you can tell me what that is, let me know. We have the original bumper on, we have the toe and eye cover. Usually those are sort of missing, and we have the original exhaust, which is quite rare apparently, because a lot of them just rotted off and got thrown away and exchanged for aftermarket things. We have a boot full of parts, and it's quite clear to see that we need to go through this. So yeah, I'm going to push this car inside a bit. We're going to empty the boot and we're going to see what we've got in here, because I can already see a couple of goodies hidden in the little crevices, and I want to see exactly what we got and what we're dealing with, because of course it's nearly Christmas and we've got a lot to unwrap. Terrible joke, terrible joke. Where's this thing just run? Ah! My knee! Right, it's in. My knee isn't smashed to pieces. I am quickly reminded that I hate this time of year, because any vehicle that is a pusher, I just can't push it on my own, because just outside my workshop door is an ever so slight small incline. So when it's wet, I just can't push anything that's really heavy. So it is really, really annoying working in winter on your own. But let's dig into this and see what we've got. So front headlight washer system. So you'll notice on the front we was missing one of these. So we've got one here, one here. So we've got a pair. This is probably off the smashed up black bumper that none of us can actually see anymore. Front rub strips, power flex, subframe bushes. We have 1, 2, 3 Bilstein shocks. If you're thinking that's not very good, you got 3. Where's the 4th one? It's on the back of Lewis's Touring. I don't know why. What happened? It needed to go to MOT or something, but we have a full set of Bilstein shocks. So again, good little bonus. Oh, genuine amber front corner lights. We have 1 amber side repeater, genuine, 2 side repeaters. The BMW approved bonnet cable. So a genuine BMW bonnet cable there. That's probably quite expensive. Again, looks to be genuine BMW parts. You've got to remember, all of these cars were very looked after, and the E36 that we had, that had a bunch of genuine parts with it. The family that these cars actually came from, they really liked these cars. They did look after them. They had some health problems throughout the family, but obviously they've all been sold on now, and we can see here that they've spent out a lot of money on a lot of stuff. So this is a genuine door catch or boot catch. I'm not quite sure. I'll have to check the part number, but it is brand new in the bag. We have a brand new thermostat here. Again, probably BMW. There is a bunch of little clips here, which I don't know what they're from, but they are genuine BMW once again. In here, we have a brand new accumulator. So if you don't know, this car has adjustable dampening basically. So it's got a lot of fluid in the rear shocks, potentially the fronts as well, I'm not quite sure. But they have accumulators and you can adjust the dampening, and this was sort of proper 90s tech. The problem that you have now is that these cars are very, very old and you can't buy any of these parts for them. And any parts that you do have are very expensive. Now, for me, I don't care for any of that. I really don't care. And there's probably someone who is dying for this accumulator. So that's good. I also know that this car in particular, when we took the wheels off and we swapped them over from the Touring, this actually has AC Schnitzer adjustable dampening shocks on it. So I'm going to probably go out on a limb and say someone is probably going to spend a pretty penny on the AC Schnitzer stuff just so they can put it on their car. Brand new pair of discs, right? Euro Car Parts BMW M5 540. Another pair of rear discs. I'm not going to do that much driving in my lifetime. So we've got the brand new discs that were on the car, which have never been used. We've got those brand new drilled and grooved discs on the front, which haven't been used. And then we have another pair of brand new front discs, again, which haven't been used. This one is looking a lot better than this one. This is what the ones on the cars look like. It's just surface rust, it will clean up. But yeah, we have 3 pairs of front M5 discs. So that's a touch, I guess. Does anyone want to buy the M5 discs? Let me know. Some pads, more pads. The genuine BMW 1-inch triangle, one caliper, which looks pretty dusted, but it is an M caliper. Another M caliper. An M caliper, which is in the bag. 36 M3 offside front brake caliper, suits E36 M3 S50 S54 engines. Another caliper there, again M. Another pair of M rear calipers, E36 E34. I don't know, this car already has the E34 M5 rear calipers on it. We have some spares here if we need them. The BMW badge still has a cellophane on. If it's genuine or not, I don't know, but we've got it now. Otronic ECU. So whatever that is, 021 200 179. Might be worth a pretty penny. Jaguar oil filter. BMW Group exhaust stud and nut kit. Has a little Kenwood disc changer. Oh, can we get that out? What were they listening to? I love this bit. Ah, crap. Let me give it that old school. Dance, hip hop, Michael Jackson, Kings of Leon. I don't know what that says. Oh, definitely don't know anymore. I like it. That tells you exactly what sort of owner actually owned this at one point.
Now, I don't know about you, but with the amount of duplicate parts that we have here, I'm going to go out on a whim and say that there was another E34 M5 which has sacrificed a lot of its parts to be a donor car for this very car. Which for me is quite nice because M5 parts are not cheap.
Speaking of cheap, you want to know exactly how much this car actually cost me. Now, I said before, I only buy a car if it's a good deal and if everything goes wrong, I can still break it and get my money back. When buying this, that was obviously a massive factor. I'm sure all of us are very partial to a very good deal. This car in particular is obviously a bit of a dog, right? I think it's quite obvious that it's quite a dog. It's had a lot of abuse, but the parts on it are worth it all day long. So you got the S38 engine, the gearbox, the diff, all of that would pay for the car and more. To add to that, you've got the interior. That's probably going to fetch you just shy of about £1,000 with that 4-seater extra in the back. Got your rear blind, you got your steering wheel, all the little like side trims and everything like that. That all adds up. You got your M parallels. They're not cheap. They're a staggered set. So they're pretty good. You got the M kit. So you got the bumper, the skirts, the rear bumper. Again, not cheap. All of these things are what sold me to the car. And then the stuff in the boot was actually a bonus. I didn't even know that existed. So you want to know exactly how much this car cost me. And I've strung you along enough. This car was £6,000. £6,000. Yes, it is a dog. compared to all the other E34s that you can buy. And I'm pretty confident it is the cheapest one on the market because I searched the internet throughout and I couldn't find one for less than £15,000. And those ones were very, very bad. So I am more than happy with this. And if it all came down to it, I would have the perfect donut engine for my E24. If I got underneath this car and it was completely rotten and stitched in the middle and it was a full cut and shut, I wouldn't care. There's a reason I've not laid under the car. The engine and drivetrain alone just sells me on the entire car. Now, I don't want to break it. I do not want to break this car. Like, I want to put this car back on the road, and obviously it finishes the story with the other E34s. So I think is in 2025, 6 months from now, we will be driving across Europe, probably at 130 mile an hour where it's legal. Probably stop in at the Nürburgring, do a big Europe road trip. We've also got to go skiing. I have a ski bag in this car. I need to go skiing. I have an E34 M5. Need to do that. And of course, I will be taking everyone along with me because this is sort of what I'm doing now. I'm being a YouTuber now. This is the project. Hope you're all excited. Thank you all for your support. If it wasn't for anyone watching the videos and buying the merch and all of that, this wouldn't have happened. Like, generally wouldn't have happened. So yeah, thank you very much to everyone that has got involved in the giveaway recently. I did put a deposit on this a couple of months ago, so it was already in the works, but the giveaway went super, super well. Arthur actually won the giveaway last night. It was drawn. Thank you everyone that got involved. All of those proceedings go straight back into this. And obviously you guys that didn't win, I'm glad that we did it the way we did because you guys have all got merch and stickers and stuff like that if you chose to go down that route. It's just gone really well, and I learned a lot with that giveaway and how to run it and stuff like that. A few problems, but we came out good from the other side, and hopefully we'll get Arthur to come collect his car next week and see his reaction to winning the E34. He's actually already got an E34 touring by the looks of his Instagram, so lucky him, E34 enjoyer. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the E34 M5. This is cool. This is so cool. I never thought I'd ever have an M-powered car. Like, it was just like unobtainium to me. It's just sort of like every time you see one of these, they're extortionate amount of money. And when you do finally get your own one, you're going to be spending a lot of money. You don't really want to drive it aggressively and you'll be scared to park it and stuff. Whereas this, I don't care. I don't care. Like, it's a battered old M5. This is like exactly how you want to own an M5, really. So yeah, so happy for the future of this car. Stoked. So stoked. Comment down below what you think about the car. Did I get a good deal? Did I get ripped off? Am I wasting my time? Are you sick of seeing E34s? Probably. I do apologize, but you know, come on. It's an M5. It's an M5 now. You seem to like the 518 Touring. Surely do you like the M5? Come on. This is double the engine capacity. Yeah, stick around. Good things are happening. I'm trying to hit 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're at 24.5. So if you're watching this, please subscribe. The content is going to get very good. This is not the only project that I have on the channel. I know I've got way too many cars and way too much stuff to do, but you know, you can't miss out on opportunities like this. Imagine if I pass this up, I'll never get the opportunity ever again. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to own an M5. Thank you very much. Have a good week. I will see you on Friday for another video. You're all legends. See you in the next one. How's it feel, Lewis? I have
always wanted one. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I have double the engine capacity of your car.
It's alright. So